This is the plaintiff, Christopher Weirs-Bicky. He says the defendant, his half-sister, let him move in with her rent-free until he graduated college. She got short on money, so he took out a loan for her to get cable TV, and she was supposed to pay him back. But since he's here, she obviously hasn't. And that's very unsisterly indeed. He's suing for $3,423.88 for the money he's owed and belongings he can't get back. This is the defendant, Chanel Tomlin. She says she took such good care of the plaintiff, didn't charge him rent, and was there for him in his time of need. He disrespected her and her family, was caught having intercourse with the door open, and considering she has 2 kids, there's really nothing more to say except she owes him zilch. She's accused of not being very sisterly after all.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Christopher Weirs-Bicky?
Yes.
Okay. You're suing your sister, Chanel Tomlin, for $3,423.88 that you say you are out as a result of her not paying bills she said she would and that she had put in your name, and numerous items that you say she essentially stole from you.
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
All right. On November 23rd, me and my mother were having problems, so I called her and asked her if I could move in with her. She said that would be fine. So
have you always had a good relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
So I moved in with her. Everything was fine. Around January 1st, she asked if I would put the cable in my name, which is Optimum Triple Play, the phone, internet, and cable, because she couldn't get it. So I said, yeah, that would be fine.
Did she have it before you moved in?
No.
Why couldn't she get it?
I believe she didn't pay the bill before.
Okay. So she's blacklisted. Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead.
So
was anybody else living with her?
Yes, her boyfriend and her 2 kids live there sometimes.
Okay. Are you the boyfriend? Okay. And did you have cable there before?
No, I work 12 hours a day. I had basic cable. He wanted internet. He said he was going to be looking for a job. He would be looking for school.
Okay. Was he going to school?
No.
Okay. What was he doing with his day?
Nothing.
Was he working?
Nothing. He was on the internet. He was watching TV. He was having people in and out of my home.
Okay. So he wasn't in school, according to you, and he wasn't working.
No.
And you knew that when you took him in?
Well, he was in school when he was with my mom.
So you thought he was still in school?
Well, he was in school in Jersey. I knew he wouldn't be able to travel back and forth. School was ending, actually. He was supposed to be taking his finals. But he said he was going to go to school out by me as well.
So what did he do? Just skip the finals?
Yeah.
I didn't have a ride there.
You didn't have a ride to your finals, so you just blew a semester?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So you move in with her, and cable gets put in. You say it's her idea. She says it's yours. And then what happens?
Everything was going fine. She said that she paid the bill. I never got any bills. She said that she paid them. In February, she said that she was getting evicted from her apartment and that I couldn't live with her. That I had to move back in with my mother because I couldn't move in with her. So that's when the Cable Vision called me and said, you haven't paid your bill in 2 months. You're turning off the cable. And I said, what do you mean? They're like, it hasn't been paid. And I said, that must be a mistake or something. So then what happened was, do you know what a payday loan is?
Do I know what a payday loan is? I think I do, but go ahead.
A payday loan is basically you take out a loan. It's very high interest, but they accept you even with no credit. They put the money into a bank account, and then they take it out when you say that you get paid, which is called a payday loan. So she asked me.
So they take the payments out of the bank account. Okay.
So she didn't have a bank account because she can't have one because I guess she's black with the banks too. So she asked me to put under my name.
Okay. Do you have a bank account?
I do.
Why were you using his account?
At the time, the account that I had, somebody went into my account fraudulently, and my account was locked. They were closing it. I was closing it because someone went in there.
So why didn't you just wait until that got straightened out instead of using his account?
I was moving, and I needed the loans then.
Okay. Now, according to you, what ends up happening?
They started taking the money out of my account. I only had
She's supposed to put money in the account for when they take the payment out, and?
I only had $50 in the account, so they just started taking the money out. They started overdrafting. I called her and asked, can you please put the money in the account? It only happened once. She's like, okay, I'll put the money in. A couple days later, they took out another one and overdrafted it more. All just excuses until finally I said, can I just get all my stuff and I'll see you in court.
What happened? Why couldn't you get the money into the account?
Well, actually, what happened was I planned on putting money in the account. But in the meantime, I started getting phone calls saying, your children are black, this and that. Whole lot of...
By whom?
My mother. Saying that he said, oh, you stole things from him. We're going to make sure we nail your butt to the wall. I also have audio recording of Christopher saying that the payday loans were the money that the bank took out was reimbursed.
But why isn't the money in the payday loan to begin with? Like, I did you a favor. Why are you putting him in a position where he's bouncing checks or bouncing payments or getting late fees or whatever? Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to have done?
I should have, but emotionally I was hurt. And I was to the point where I just didn't want to be bothered.
That's going to cost you. I hope that was enjoyable for you. Why would your mother say such a thing to you?
I don't know. I have audio of that as well.
Of your mother saying that?
She hopes I die.
What's the problem between you and your mother?
It dates back. She didn't raise me. My father's side of the family raised me. And I think she has issues with minorities from some things that happened in her past.
Is your mother white?
Yes.
Okay. And your father is?
Black.
Okay. And have you never had a relationship with your mother?
No, not really.
Okay. And is...
On and off. Very...
So are you half siblings?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had a relationship with your brother?
Yes, I've tried.
When your brother was moving out of your mother's house, what was that about?
They were fighting. She kicked him out. I don't know why. He was always doing things. He was involved in some car robberies once. She kicked him out for that. In and out of the house, guys, and just different things.
What was your problem when you were living with him?
I started getting phone calls at work that he was having intercourse with people with the door open. He said he was
Who was calling you and telling you that? Your boyfriend?
Yes.
Oh, meaning he's in the house?
Yes.
Okay. Go on.
He said he was going to take care of some things financially that he didn't take care of. His tickets.
Such as?
He had tickets that he asked me to pay for him, and I said I would pay them. But I found out that he received 2 paychecks, as well as the cable bill. He did ask me to pay the cable bill, and I said I would take care of the tickets and the cable bill, because I knew he didn't have a job yet. Those 3 months, he was supposed to be looking for a job. He didn't even make an attempt to look for a job. Okay? I did try to help him and say, you know what? I'll take care of it for you. No problem.
But then you didn't, though. You didn't pay the...
No, I didn't, because you know why? Why am I enabling somebody that's not doing anything for themselves? I'm not going to do it. So at that point, I decided to move, and I said, I'm not taking you with me because I can't deal with it. It's too much. I shouldn't have to live like this.
When did it get to the point where it's at now?
With the phone calls with my mother, maybe like 2 or 3 days later.
Okay, I almost, I don't want to play the message from the mother because I don't, but my problem is that you have submitted into evidence an affidavit from your mother talking about how she loves both her children, she doesn't want to take sides, and then she takes your side. I need to understand the veracity of that statement, and know how to weigh that statement. And the only way I can do that is to understand if there's a reason why she has something against this,
Well, what happened was she's upset.
Just play it.
Can I just, because I had it set to where you can hear him saying that he has no idea what happened to his
Were you taping him without his knowledge, or were they leaving messages on the phone?
I didn't know.
He knew, because at the end of the recording, you will hear my mother. She must have been on the other line. You will hear her saying, I don't care. I don't care if she's recording. So he was aware.
That might have just been her good guess. I don't know.
Well, he was aware.
All right.
I was not aware.
Yeah, but still, it's like the matter of, you don't think I stole your do you? Well, I don't know. Well, like,
I couldn't hear that.
He said, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
She said that while moving, that the guy who was moving all this stuff might have stolen my stuff. So that's why I said, I don't know if you stole it. It might have been that guy. That's why I said, I don't know.
Right, which means it's a possibility that it wasn't me. I don't have your things.
But still, if she paid a man to be moving my stuff, isn't it still her responsibility?
Why aren't you just moving your own stuff?
Correct.
I wasn't there.
You were
there.
there.
But why weren't you then?
Because I was leaving.
I know, but why don't you leave with your stuff? That's a typical...
Because she said that I can move into her new house with her. That's why she moved all my stuff with her.
When did you find out that you weren't moving into her new house?
When I was living with my mother. She wouldn't even tell me the new address of her house. So that's when me and my father drove up to meet her at her job. She said, oh, I can't, I'm busy at work. Go with Deja, and she'll take you to the house to get your stuff.
And that's you, right? Okay, come on up, please. So you take him...
to a CVS parking lot instead of the house. She gives me my stuff. I go...
Wait, so how does he get his stuff? What do you do?
Okay, what happened was we went to the CVS. I told him to meet us there. He took everything, filled up the back seat of his father's car and his father's trunk of all the things that we had. And that was it. He left. Even after that, he
At
said,
that point in time, did he say, there's this missing, there's that missing?
no, he didn't. After
Okay.
that, he said, why do you, would you like to come out with me to Pasha's on Friday and hang out and this and that? And I said, well, I'm not sure. I'll give you a call if anything. And he was like, okay. And that was it. That was the end of it. He got everything.
Okay, and then when's the first you hear him complain that there's stuff missing?
No, he didn't get everything. He didn't get his Xbox. The Xbox was not in the storage closet. So he called my cell phone and he said, listen, I don't have my Xbox and I need the cable boxes. You have my cable boxes as well. I said, okay, no problem. Went back to the house, gave it to him, and he left.
Okay, now he says apparently he left the suit there. You did find the suit.
This was in my closet. I didn't want to ball it up and put it in the storage closet, so I hung it up.
All right, hand him his suit, will you? According to you, there's other clothes left behind.
Yes.
Okay, what is it you say you're still missing? The Xbox games?
Yes. And
Did you
my
tell her that at that moment?
She said she would mail them all to me.
You're standing there at her house. That's where it is. Why don't you just get it?
She threw it in my hands and said, if you don't leave here right now, I'm going to get my homeboys to come and beat you up and beat your father up.
Okay. Did you ever threaten to get your homeboys to beat him up?
Well, I said I'm tired of being called this and that and that and that.
So
I'm
maybe
fed
you
up.
did?
I'm
All right.
hurt. It's a possibility.
Okay. Can I hear the tape from your mother?
Sure.
Resave. Next message. You claim them on your income tax fraud. We pay for school. We provide more than 50% of his support. And if you claim him and you get that money back to him, we're going to claim him. And you're going to be in big trouble. Because we will get a tax attorney and you will have to answer to the IRS. I can't believe that you pulled that. I don't want anything to do with you. And if it's true, I hope you die.
What was the
I
part
can-
about
I
the
can
racial? Hold on a second. I want to ask you a question. Did I miss it because it went too fast? Where was the racial epithet?
Things when I changed because I was getting so many phone calls
The
from them.
answer is you don't have a
Yeah,
tape
I
of
don't
your
have
mother
that.
calling you that, right?
The racial
okay.
names, no.
This is why I demand to hear stuff. Because, you know, to me, not that saying to you, I hope you die isn't awful. But she's obviously just wigging out at that moment over the fact that you took him in instead. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay, because she didn't want him moving in with you. She wanted him to stay with her, and she wants to claim him on his tax returns, and you better not. And she's just wigging out that he's moved out with you. You know, we paid for school, he paid for a whole semester, and then he blows off the semester by not making it his business to get to college to take his finals. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous scenario.
I just wanted to clarify. The reason my mother was angry in that message was Chanel claimed me on her tax return and lied and said that I lived there for over 6 months, and when I lived there for 1 month. And now my parents...
I just want to know. Just answer yes or no. Did you claim him on your tax return?
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, is it ever enough, if you don't see the person stealing your stuff, to be able to prove, well, they have a motive for stealing, you know, absolutely had to be the thief?
Yeah, well, if there's enough circumstantial evidence.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Is circumstantial evidence enough to prove it?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, I do think so.
So you don't have to actually see it happen. You don't need the smoking gun.
No, because many crimes would never be proven if you have to be there to see it.
Fair enough. Who thinks you need to see it?
I think you need to see it because you never know who could be sneaking around.
That's true. I mean, you know, it could be like the oddest person in the world. Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Let me tell you what is disturbing me the most. You know, what's disturbing me the most here is how pathetic it is that you two could be siblings and that could get to this stage where you're standing here on the People's Court to resolve this dispute. He paints you to be, and your mother paints you, to be an opportunistic individual who has terrible credit and problems, who has to get this kind of a bridge loan because you need the money right now, and you paint you to be working 12-hour days and anything but opportunistic. You paint yourself to be the savior. And yet I hear that you claimed him on your tax return after he was there 30 days.
I'm sorry, he wasn't there 30 days. That's a lie.
Unless he was there the whole year, you have no right to claim him on your tax return. He came in November. You told me that yourself. So yeah, you claimed him there 30 days. There's 30 days left of 09 when you claimed him. You know, it's like nuts. All right? I find that you're responsible for the cable bill. There was something you said in your own testimony where you said, well, you know, I said I'd help him. I said I'd pay that. But then I thought back and I said, why am I going to enable him? You can't change what the agreement is because he has now disappointed you. That's not how it works. All right? I find that you're responsible for what I can decipher of the overdraft. So that's another $100. The suit and tie are here. The Xbox was returned. The Xbox games, this is a very difficult case for you to prove. okay? Because you're going to have to prove to me that she took and kept the things that you can't find, as opposed to you can't find them because you just can't find them, and there was a move. You know, I mean, even in the tape when she says, "Do you really think I stole your stuff? That I'm confused?" You're like, "I don't know." Yeah, you don't know, and I don't know either. And you have to be able to prove it to me, all right, for me to be able to award it to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order her to pay you the $417.21 of the cable bill. I'm going to order her to pay $100 on the overdraft, and I'm going to order her to pay your court costs for a sum total judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $517.21 plus your court costs. Okay? Good luck, folks.
Well, the testimony ends in this very tough case. And here's the defendant coming out in the hallway here. What's going through your mind right now?
Not much.
No.
No.
You and your brother have been close over the years. What happens next?
I think this will probably be it.
And what's meaning what?
He can go on with his life and I'll go on with mine.
Is that the way you want it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. All right, right around the corner there. So come on in here and give me your reaction to the outcome of this case.
I'm kind of upset because, yeah, I lost out on a couple expensive things.
What about the family that's being lost?
I don't want to ever see her again. She's a conniving, evil person. She's a snake.
You're not going to miss your sister?
Hell no.
Okay, let's go to Harvey.
Okay, you know, something you should know, the defendant could actually be prosecuted for tax fraud for declaring the plaintiff a dependent when it's not the case. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.